Being a working professional, it's nearly certain that we will find ourselves engaged in negotiations. Irrespective of what is our job role, where are we working, what is the industry that we are working in, and we will find ourselves that we are negotiating all the time. In fact, you might be negotiating more frequently than you even realize it, right? From getting a right job offer, from salary increase to advocating if you need a budget increase from your manager, you are navigating some sales deal with your customers, you are negotiating on some holiday break that you want with your manager, you are looking at what are the retirement benefits the company is giving, any PF, you're negotiating every now and then, right? What just on the professional front, you are negotiating even in your personal lives. Like, look at it, if you're taking a house on rent, you are negotiating with the owner of the house for a better deal in terms of the rent, right? You go to a market for shopping, or you go to a vegetable market for shopping, you are negotiating with a vegetable vendor or the shop owner. You are negotiating even with the auto person if he's not going by the meter, to just say that okay fine, you're negotiating on the price that he should charge you for taking you for a particular distance, right? So we are negotiating every day, every now and then, with literally everyone. At some point or the other, we're negotiating with our parents, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our managers, people from other departments. So if this is going to be part and parcel of our life moving forward, then might as well invest some time into knowing how we can improve our negotiation skills so that we benefit the most out of it, right? And if you want to strike an effective deal and improve the outcome of your future negotiations, then stay tuned with this episode, as I'm going to be sharing how you can improve your negotiation skills. Hello everyone, this is Sonia and you're with me on Thinking Out Loud Thursdays, and we're having coffee together. Let's get started. If you really like my videos, please hit the subscribe button and follow me as we get started with today's episode. So, while we talk about negotiations, first let's understand what is negotiation. Now, negotiation is nothing but a conversation that happens with one or more people to resolve a conflict, an issue, and you're trying to find a solution that works for both the parties. It works for you as well. You are also okay with the solution. The other person is also okay with the solution, right? And this is also a soft skill. Like, I've done a video on soft skills. You can refer to that in case you would like to know more about what are the other soft skills to have, right? So negotiation is a soft skill, must have. This is not something that you learn in college and then you can apply in your work life. This is a process that you have to go through. You have to learn, you have to evolve, and it's like an ongoing thing and then you become a master of negotiation, right? So first let's look at why do you need negotiation, right? You must be thinking, मुझे तो इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, मैं तो negotiate करता ही नहीं हूँ, I'm in admin, मुझे तो इसकी ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, या मैं HR में हूँ, मुझे negotiation की क्या ज़रूरत है, why should I know about it? Nah, I'll tell you, every person has to know about the skill, should have the skill if you want to grow in your career, right? So first let's look at why do you need it. So first is achieving a win-win situation for both the parties who are involved into negotiation, right? So one is you, who is the other person, and how can the other person be happy and you be happy. So negotiation does not mean that you have to show somebody down, or you have to be successful in that negotiation at the cost of somebody else, right? Showing somebody down. No. It is purely that you are also happy with whatever is the outcome. The other person is also happy with the outcome. You don't need to be very happy, but yes, if you both are agreed to whatever is the solution coming in, and there's nothing like a major loss that you both are incurring, then it's a win-win situation for both. And you should try and achieve that with your negotiation skills, right? The other is conflict resolution. Now, conflicts are part and parcel of our life, right? From childhood, we've been seeing we have conflicts with everybody in our house, outside the house. We've had conflicts in college. We've had conflicts even when we did our further studies, and now when we start working, we'll have conflicts with our managers, our HR department, other departments, our colleagues. Everybody will have conflicts, right? So you should know how to resolve these conflicts, and you can only resolve these conflicts if you have good negotiation skills, because it will help you address whatever the differences are there. It will help you reach a compromise, which is, like I said, a win-win situation for both, right? So it will also, these skills will also help you enhance your communication skills, which is again a soft skill, but it will help you enhance those communication skills. Because see, when you are negotiating, you are talking, and the other person is also giving you the counterpoints, and then you have to listen very carefully what the other person is talking. So this helps you into actively listening, improving your listening skills. It will help you ask probing questions, the right kind of questions that you should be asking the other person, to know from where the other person is coming, right? So if somebody is coming and asking you, okay fine, I need a higher budget, you go to your manager and say, sir, I need extra marketing budget, and if you are not saying anything more, the person will say, okay fine, you're not getting an extra budget, that's the door, go. But if the manager wants to negotiate with you, the manager will ask you questions like, why do you need this budget? You already have the marketing. Where are you spending more? Then you can actually counter it. When you've prepared yourself, you can counter it by saying that, okay fine, there is a new project that has come up in the vicinity, we would like to focus on our project, and so we need to spend, maybe we want to do some radio activity, or we want to do some event on ground, hence we need more money for it. So when you start giving reasoning and you start laying down the facts, the manager will say, okay fine, let's sit and talk and let's negotiate. So if you've asked for an X money, the manager will not give you the X money, he'll also negotiate, or she'll negotiate with you, right? So he'll probably tell you, okay fine, I can give you this as the extended budget if you're okay with it, and maybe you'll come to a common ground and you'll be okay with that, right? So this is very much needed for your overall professional growth, also because when you want to advance in your career, this will help you improve your working condition. This will help you become more confident in seeking for what you need and what are you aspiring for, right? So now that we know that this is a very important skill to have, now how do you improve on your negotiation skills, right? So negotiating something at work is very different from negotiating something in your personal life, right? So first thing what you need to do is prepare thoroughly. So you cannot enter a negotiation without knowing what the whole situation is about. So for example, you're entering into a kind of a price negotiation with a customer, and you've not prepared yourself. You don't know what the customer has shortlisted, what is the budget that he is asking, is there some price indications that he's given, how much can he stretch, why is he so hell-bent on the price, is he looking at some other projects, etc. So when you don't know the whole scenario and you go and sit in the negotiation meeting, you'll of course not be successful in that, right? So you need to actually prepare yourself thoroughly, look at what is the goal of that negotiation. What is the priority? Is the priority to close now? If the customer says, I'm looking at this apartment, but he doesn't want to close now, he wants to close after a month or so, maybe in the next financial year he wants to close, so which means this is not a priority. Accordingly, then you will handle the negotiation, right? Look at what are the alternatives with you. So when you know what are the goals, what are the priorities, what are the alternatives in hand with you, before you enter any negotiation, you will know how to handle every question that is coming your way. So please prepare thoroughly before you enter into any kind of negotiation, be it personal or professional. That rule is for both, right? Number 2, be very flexible. So you don't have to be very rigid when you are entering into negotiations, right? Because if you say that, okay fine, if the customer does not agree to my price, I will walk away from the negotiation. No, because that will be not good for you. You'll lose a deal where your team has invested so much of time, you have invested so much of time, and you don't want your relations with your customers spoiled, right? Because if you're so rigid, the customer will also lose the deal. Okay, but the customer will get a deal somewhere else also, right? And the customer will spread such bad publicity about your project that the team is very arrogant, they don't listen to you, they're not flexible, they're very, very rigid, and they don't even have any customer service, they don't offer any customer service experience, etc., right? So imagine your small skill will lead to the effect will get multiplied, right? So be flexible, be open to compromises, and find something which is like a middle ground where you're okay, the customer is happy, you're happy, and you're able to build a good relation with the customer, right? Because that customer will become an advocate, good advocate for you, and will bring in more of his friends and family to invest in your venture, whatever that you're offering, right? So please be flexible. Number 3, you need to avoid making assumptions. If we start assuming that the customer is a director in a Fortune 500 company, or he's the owner of a startup, he's got crores and crores of rupees, why is he negotiating with us? He can pay. Of course he can pay, but that is his personal choice, that the customer might be looking at investing in maybe 3-4 things, and this project of yours is one of those things, right? So we cannot assume by saying that just because a customer came in a BMW car or an Audi, or has XX bank balance with him, or is a director in a particular company, we cannot assume that he has to agree to what we are saying. No. So we are making assumptions in that case, right? So please base your negotiations on facts and figures. Get to know, okay, fine, is there any pain point for the customer? Why is he so hell-bent on the price that he is asking? Is there something else on his mind? Why is he looking at not closing now, but he wants to close in the next financial year? Is it some tax benefit that he is looking at? So accordingly, then you can maneuver your negotiation in the right direction and arrive at a closure in that, right? So please avoid assumptions, because assumptions will lead to misunderstandings, and these misunderstandings can derail the whole negotiation, because then the conversation will go in a very different direction. You will never be able to control the whole conversation only, right? Number 4, please set a timeline. You cannot enter a negotiation and say that, okay, fine, sir, okay, I've given you the best price, sir, you take your own time and come back. Now the customer will come back after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, he'll say, you gave me the price, give me the same price. Will you be able to do that? No. So when you are getting into any negotiation, you need to have a timeline. Even when you're going to your manager for a budget increase or something like that, you have to launch the campaign. You cannot just give the manager time to say, okay, sir, okay, take your time and let me know how much budget can you give me more. Now the manager might have other things to do, he'll probably forget, and then you are at loss. So you need to set a timeline to say, sir, I have to launch this campaign next week to get the better output of it. So please, if you can, in the next 72 hours, approve my budget. So when you're setting a timeline, then, you're controlling the whole negotiation. You're not letting it loose, go into a wonderland and, come back to you whenever the other person sees comfortable for him, right? So please set a timeline and don't leave it a very open kind of a negotiation with you, right? The next one is always offer for multiple solutions. Don't just say one and the other person will say yes or no. So if it is a yes for one person, it becomes a no for the other person, and which means you're not closing the deal. You're not coming to a common ground, and it's not a win-win for both. So always look at what are the alternatives, what are the other multiple solutions I can offer in case the customer does not agree to whatever that you're asking for, right? Maybe if you're looking at any, because I've been in real estate, so let me give you a real estate example. So if you're sitting in a closure deal with a customer, now you know that the customer is not willing to come down on the price. You've given him a better deal. He's agreed to come up, but not to what you were anticipating. So maybe then you can say that, okay, fine, sir, if you're not ready to increase the price, then I cannot be flexible on the payments. You will have to make the payment upfront. Or you can say, sir, then I cannot offer you a higher floor unit. You'll have to compromise on your floor of unit. Or I cannot offer you that garden facing unit. You'll have to compromise on. So when you start offering a lot of solutions to the customer, then the customer will pick at least one of the solutions, and you'll be able to close the deal much faster. You will save a lot of time and energy, both of yours and of the customer, right? And the customer will also be very happy that you are offering so many solutions for the customer. But don't make it like a buffet of solutions. Offer like 3, 4 or 5 or max 5 solutions, and then let him pick from one of those. If he is really serious on closing, he will pick one solution and he'll be able to close on that, right? So please offer multiple solutions, which will save your time, the other person's time, and the chances of closing that negotiation will be far higher than otherwise, right? Now the next is always speak confidently. Now, if you're basically sitting in a negotiation, or you're asking for a budget boost from your manager, and you say, sir, I need a little bit of extra budget. Please, sir, if you can give it to me. Now, look at your body language. You're not looking confident at all. If your manager is going to ask you a few questions, you're going to fumble, mumble. And so the manager will say, oh, you're only not confident whether you need this budget, whether you'll get the desired results or not. But when you are confident, sir, I need this budget because I know that we'll be able to generate more inquiries because of the sales pressure that we have, or to meet the sales target, we need this, because if you don't give me this, then please, I should not be held responsible if the sales target is not met or the leads target is not met. So when you talk confidently, the other person realizes that you have authority also on the subject that you're talking about. Now, when you enter into a negotiation with a customer on the price battle that you're having, right? And every now and then you say, sir, just excuse me, I'll go and ask my senior. Every time you step out of the meeting asking from senior, which shows that you're not confident on closing the deal there and then the customer will say, okay, get your manager only here. No, why are you negotiating with me? Let me negotiate with somebody else then. So be confident, reflect that you have authority on whatever that you're entering into a negotiation with the other person, because it's not what you're talking. It's not what you're talking to your customer, but how you're talking also matters a lot. And that makes all the difference sometimes when you're into a negotiation, right? I've seen many people, they bluff in negotiation meetings. Ki tukka mara chal gaya to chal gaya, nahi chala to nahi chala. But because their body language and the confidence is so high that they're able to get a better deal from the customer. Or if the customer is very confident and the customer is bluffing, sometimes the salespeople are not able to judge out of it, and they're able to still arrive at a compromising situation, which is a win-win for both. But maybe the salesperson could have got a little more better price from the customer, right? So please be confident, speak confidently, and show that you have authority on that negotiation, because that will show that you're in control of the whole situation and the negotiation that is happening, right? And the next I want to talk about is, please accept failures on the face value. Don't accept failures and take it personally to say that I am not very good in negotiation, I could not handle the negotiation properly, the customer took me for a ride, or get into a defensive mode by saying I did my negotiation properly but the customer was taking me for granted, or things didn't work out. So if the negotiation is failing, first, don't take it personally, don't stress yourself too much, and don't get into a defensive zone. Rather, you should look at failure as an opportunity to look at what are the other solutions that you can explore to reopen this negotiation which today could not close. Because I've seen there are so many times when we're sitting with the customer, the deal never closes, the customer walks out, we are also not there, but we maintain a good rapport with the customer, and then we keep exploring, okay, what is it that we can do to get the customer back, and chances are after a couple of months the same customer walks in and you close the deal, right? So don't close the doors with the customers, don't lose your relationships. Instead, focus on that what are the other things that you can bring on table to ensure that the negotiation is reopened and you're able to arrive at a common ground of understanding, right? So please start accepting failures, right? The next is stay respectful. Because I've seen in multiple negotiation meetings, if it's very hours and hours, it's a very lengthy negotiation going, people are mentally exhausted, and then people start abusing, they start shouting, they start disrespecting the other person, and that's not where the negotiation will go, because then you will never be able to close the negotiation, and even if you close the negotiation, you lose the relationship with the other person, right? So you don't want to lose the relationship, plus you want to close the discussion that is going on, also come to a common understanding or compromising situation, but you need to do that only when you are staying respectful, even if it's a very lengthy situation. Now, what you can do is, supposing the discussion is going on for hours and hours and you're losing your patience, and you know that if you sit in that meeting even for another 1 minute also, you're going to lose your cool and you're going to start shouting and abusing the other person. That's when you need to set time out. You just need to tell the customer, sir, I think this is going way out of hands. I think we just need a breather. Let's have a coffee break where you get time to think, I get time to think, and let's reconnect again after 10 minutes. Let's have a coffee now. I think we all deserve a coffee after all this lengthy meeting that we've had, right? So add a little humor to it and take a break. In that break, calm yourself down. Think through why the discussion is not going in the direction that you wanted to. If you want to take somebody's advice, pick up a phone, talk to the other person, and come back with a fresh approach, and then restart that negotiation after 10 minutes. It's not like heaven is going to fall suddenly, that and it's not like it's going to put you in a very weaker light to say that I asked for a break, so the customer will say, oh, I am tired. No, it's human nature. Maybe the customer is not, or the other person is not saying it, but you are saying it. The other person must be thanking you. Okay, good, you said it. I was tired of these discussions back and forth, right? It's happened with all of us, right? And lastly, I want to say is, if by any chance you feel this is the first or the second time you're getting into negotiation, and you've seen negotiations happening in front of you and you've observed how they are done, but this is the first time you're entering it, if you're getting cold feet about it, then what you can do is you can just get your friends or your colleagues in a room to say that, okay, fine, this is the situation, I'm getting into a meeting tomorrow. Please just throw your questions at me, become a customer of mine or become a colleague of mine, and then ask me questions and let me see how I perform in front of you. Because if you're able to handle the blocks or the obstacles what your colleagues are throwing at you, then I think you will be able to sail through the meeting with your customer as well, right? So you can practice the negotiation skills as well. Now, while we're coming to the end of the episode, all I want to say is that negotiation is not a one-time skill that you can do it today and you don't want to do it tomorrow, right? This is an ongoing, a lifelong skill that will that is there in your life to stay, and it will also evolve over time with experience. Your first negotiation, please remember, the first time you negotiated with a customer or your manager, what was the experience? And over time, you correct your mistakes, you become more confident, you take on responsibility and you take on charge of that whole meeting in the right manner. You're very respectful, you don't lose your cool, you are not making any assumptions, you're preparing thoroughly before the negotiation meeting, and over time with experience you'll realize that you've become a master of a negotiation skill, right? Or you've become a good negotiator, right? So please improve your negotiation skills. If you think there is something that you would like to add or you would like me to cover even more in detail, happy to hear your thoughts in it. And on that note, I'm going to end my Thinking Out Loud Thursdays. I hope you enjoyed this session, and if you did, hit the subscribe button and do share my video with your friends and family, right? So please have a good day, and I'm going to see you next Thursday. Bye bye everyone.